Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dubai Opera.
I mean, you've done that for that's your.
That's me. Can you not recognize it?
Well, now you're telling me.
Well, there you go.
You know this voice.
And you probably don't know who he is, right?
Ahmad Haffar.
Who is Ahmad Haffar?
He is the voice of Dubai.
Hello, Dubai!
School dropout, self-made entrepreneur, and his voice is all over Dubai. Hi, I'm Ahmad Haffar.
And I know he's the voice of Dubai.
I don't really care that much about who knows who I am and who doesn't know who I am, is because it doesn't mean anything in business. I did all of this out of love. There's thousands of voiceovers, none of them are me. There's thousands of composers, none of them are me. Tens of millions of people know me, even if they don't know how I look like. I'm extremely into music. It was my first main love. I was kicked out of my first music school at the age of 13. My father was told I'm either a genius or just not cut out for this. But that's when I found success in creating music for Arabic artists. That's when everything changed.
And then you stopped education completely.
I genuinely did not really care. I started teaching people music, but because I also don't know how to read music in a professional way, I started teaching people how to feel an instrument, and that was my very first entrepreneurial thing.
I believe the Beatles didn't know how to read music, right?
That is correct, and a lot of incredible artists as well. And I'm not saying that, oh my God, we're so special, we don't need it. No, a lot of people do, some people don't.
Have you ever seen a young person you think they got a talent, or
Yeah.
you can develop that talent?
No, you cannot develop that talent
It's
to that
either
level.
there or it's not.
Yes, I literally ask questions like, what was your first heartbreak? Were you abused in any way? What's
How do you discover the talent?
the same way I discovered mine? Through the pain.
What's this about the crash? You were in a coma.
I don't remember much of it, but I literally remember waking up to screams and feeling weightless.
How do you feel about that, being the only survivor?
Chosen by God.
No guilt.
No guilt whatsoever.
Gladiators, welcome back. Today I have a very special guest, Ahmad Haffar. Pronounced
sir.
correctly, hopefully.
Absolutely.
Good,
Good morning,
good,
Mr.
good.
Dariush. How are you?
Thank you so much. I heard that I didn't know much about you
Mhm.
until my staff got so excited, saying you are going to interview the voice of Dubai.
Yes, sir.
And then I started looking at your journey, and it's really fascinated me.
Thank you so much.
So thank you for finding the time to come and join us. We have a lot of hundreds of thousands of viewers and listeners
Amazing.
from all over the world to get inspired, and they like the idea of being in the gladiator tribe, the modern day gladiator.
Yes.
So would you kindly share your journey with us? I'd love to know your age. I'd love to know where you're from, what brings you here. Just share your journey if you don't mind.
From the start of it, it's always been a little bit different, let's say. My mental age and physical age have been diversified throughout my life. So I'm physically 29 years old. I am from Lebanon, from a city called Tripoli up in the north. It's a lovely place, specializes in fish dishes and Arabic sweets in a very unique way. And I've been a bit like, let's say a little bit different since I was 8 years old. I'm extremely into music. It was my first main love, and that is still what I hold grounds to the most. And I've been playing from guitar, bass, piano, cello, and violin between the ages of 8 to 15. And I was kicked out of my first music school at the age of 13 for thinking a little bit too different, genuinely. And my father was told I'm either a genius or just not cut out for this. I was too opinionated. And I think that's where I start my story. I'm a very opinionated guy. I know what I know how I feel. And I think to be a gladiator is to also really have genuine conviction, to have genuine power in self-belief, and in self-growth. So that's where my story started. And then I quit school. I didn't quit school. I was kicked out of school at the age of 15 and a half, 16 because I
Music
failed.
school. Was it a music school?
Normal school. Music school 13, normal school at 15 and a half, 16. And I failed the same year that graduates you from school to high school twice. So my family got a little bit pissed off, but that's when I found success in creating music for Arabic artists. And that's when everything changed. So that's how my story really started. And for the certain people who looked at me and understood what was in my brain from a very young age. So yeah, that's the start of the journey.
So were you like misbehaving at school? Is that why they kicked you out, or you just didn't get the grades?
I didn't get the grades. So the minimum you need to get, so there's something called the carnet. It's in French because in Lebanon we have a French system. And you have to get a minimum of 10 over 20 of the totality of everything. And I used to be a 13, 14 kind of guy, which is pretty okay. and I just had a wee nosedive to 7 and 8. And if you get under 8 for 2 years, you get expelled. And I got under 8 for 2 years and I got expelled.
And then you stopped education completely.
I genuinely did not really care. I started teaching people music, but because I also don't know how to read music in a professional way, I started teaching people how to feel an instrument. And that was my very first entrepreneurial thing.
So at the moment, you still don't know how to read music.
To this day, I do not.
I believe the Beatles didn't know how to read music, right?
That is correct. And a lot of incredible artists as well. My favorite artist on planet Earth is an electronic musician called Aphex Twin. And he also does not know music theory in any way. And I'm not saying that, oh my God, we're so special, we don't need it. No, a lot of people do. Some people don't. And it's just the connection that I have with sound and the connection that I have with music. And later on, as you know, everybody's aware, I've applied it to brands. And it took me to a completely different level.
Well, actually, tell me about that, because not everybody knows.
Before my voice became well known in the region, and before pretty much anything, I used to make music for Arabic artists. I got picked up by a guy called Jean-Marie Rieshi, who's a very known composer in Lebanon. And I made music for people like Nancy Ajram, Elisa, Haifa Wahbi, Milhamzan, and Viviana Mrad.
You created the music, you created the tracks.
Yes. At that time, I would be doing certain parts of the pieces, such as the guitar, the piano. But then when I graduated to harmony and basically genuine composition, I would just imagine where a melody is going. And I like Arabic music as a whole. I don't listen to it a lot, not today. But back then, I mean, a job's a job and I had to do what I had to do. But I was always on the composing front of it. So when I came to Dubai and I had a job, my very first and last job, I got fired around 5 to 6 months in it. And my very good friend and manager at the time, Alan, he was still my best friend to this day, 11 years later, got a little bit pissed off at me because I'm not the 9 to 6 kind of guy. It's really hard for me to show up on time when I'm not fully convinced. And that's mainly when it started. And
so you don't like clocking in, clocking out. No. You don't like being answerable to bosses.
No. Absolutely not.
You see, there's a fine line between. I resonate, by the way.
Yeah, good.
I resonate.
Good.
I used to work for companies where you had to clock in. Literally, it was a card. You take a card. And I was always in the HR department every month saying we're going to deduct your salary, and I just couldn't come fine.
Yeah.
Couldn't come fine.
Doesn't make sense, does it? It genuinely doesn't make sense. I'm not saying there's absolutely anything wrong with it for most people.
Yes.
But for me,
you,
what saved me was sonic branding, was music branding for a company. That's actually what saved me. Believe it or not, I had a friend of mine who literally looked me in the eye and he said, you're a conceptual musician, you're a storyteller, you're a salesman naturally, you're able to create concepts on the go, your brain goes 7,000 miles an hour, why don't you do sonic branding? And I'm like, what's sonic branding? And then he looked at me, he's like, do you know pa-da-pa-pa-pa, I'm loving it? And I'm like, yeah, that's McDonald's. He's like, yeah, but did I say McDonald's? I'm like, oh, okay. And that was my first light bulb. And coming from creating music for these artists, these Arabic artists, I had the most amount of confidence in that one thing, which is music making. And that's how I genuinely started. Before I purchased my first company, before I opened up my second company, for any of that, it's always been my savior. So to those who don't know, they've heard the music of around 100 companies, I would say around 87 exactly, in the entire Middle East and beyond that I've created.
That's
so
amazing.
Every single day, every single minute, as we're talking, someone's on hold to a certain company or a certain hospital listening to my music, calming them down as I'm here speaking to you, for example. So my voice is well known in Dubai. My music, though, that is famous. So yeah.
Incredible. Going back a little, we're going to talk about the actual music and the sonic branding.
Yeah.
At age 13 and 15, you were having challenges with your father, you said, right?
Specifically my mother. My dad was a little bit more open-minded because he's a poet. So
so he's creative also.
Yeah, his name is Ahmad Haffar. He's well known.
Is he well known?
Yes.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So it must be in your DNA.
In a way, I mean, I got the business and the professionalism and all of that from my mother, who is extremely like this, like insanely like this. And my dad is like, Baba, what are we doing this morning? We're listening to music. We're going to go to the beach and we're going to have some corn. And I'd be like, no, that's my dad. So that's pretty much the diversity that I've had between both of my parents. And to an extent, my dad gave me a lot of leeway and fought my mom, telling her, let the boy do whatever he wants.
Wow.
And I'm the youngest of 4 kids, so I was the spoiled one. And they all took care of me. I've got 2 brothers and a sister above me. And I was just like the little kiddo, let him do whatever he wants. But nobody, and according to my mom, who can guarantee this, nobody saw any of this coming. I did. Deeply.
That leads to my question. You need to have a lot of confidence at such a young age. That would you say that when people were dealing with you, they were thinking you're arrogant?
Absolutely. Arrogant, delusional, show off, wannabe, fake, you name it.
So there was something within you, even at the teenage years,
Yes.
that came across as arrogant or obnoxious.
Overly confident, yeah. It's just
What do you think that is? Or that was?
the music. Something about me holding an
knew
instrument.
you were right.
Yes. Something about, like, if I were to speak professionally for just a second, you cannot begin to imagine how much money the companies I've created their audio branding for, how much money they've made. I cannot even begin to tell you. I mean, insurance market alone took over the whole country. The insurance market.
Yeah, that's yours.
Yeah. When I went to the owner, Avinash, and I looked him straight in the eye, I'm like, hey, I'm going to make you a 4-second melody that's going to be the most famous thing in the country. And you're going to pay me X amount of money for it. And not a single dirham left. Not a single dirham less. And he looked at me and is like, that much money for a 4-second melody? What is this, a magician spill? I'm like, yes. And you got to trust me. And he refused. And a few weeks later, he's like, okay, listen, this is as far as I can go. I'm like, not a dirham less. And if you break it now, it's going to double in the next few weeks. Genuinely. Even our mutual friend, Dave, who got us here, knows the story very intimately. Anyway, I ended up doing it and I ended up getting paid what I believe I deserve. And if anything, it's not enough because the level of fame that took on took them to the next level. And I speak of that only because I have a surprise for you. I'll show you later during the podcast. So stay tuned because that's going to blow up your mind. But basically, the way it took over, I knew it. The same way I knew it with so many other brands, with Barakat, with so many more. Like I understood deep inside that what I've created here is going to resonate with millions. With Saudi German Hospital, with HMS, Garhoud, Mirdif Hospital, like just so much. And they're also diversified in every single way. And for me, it's all about that creation element and assisting the brands grow in a way that I have no competition, more or less. There's some international players that have entered the Middle East now, but clients here within the Middle East require that local know-how with that international expertise. And I'm here, honestly, genuinely, Darish, out of the honor of being here with you today, because I've done some research and oh my God, and he's super cute. I know. I know how cute he is. I know. Basically, I have this partnership that's about to start where I have an international key player of sonic branding, basically the biggest on the planet, who have composed the sonics that inspired me, who have now officially made me the managing partner and co-owner in the entirety of the Middle East. And we're opening up offices pretty much everywhere, which they are funding. And the level of honor I feel that they chose me, to me, like professionally, I know it's the right thing to do because not only do I deserve it, I earned it. But personally, I'm a little kid going like this.
Are you still a pain in the ass to work with?
Absolutely.
So they don't know what they bringing on board, right? Because
I'm still very opinionated. Like to give you an example, I made a sonic for a certain brand who may watch this, so I won't mention them by name, who completely refused the concept, the audio demo, the melody, everything. And it was a very certain person who was a key, decision maker. Decision maker. But under him are hundreds of people, like literally. Yes. And like 20 of those are on the marketing team. And I was honored that I was awarded such a massive project. We're talking like, if I am to speak professionally, you're talking like $200,000, $300,000 plus awarded to one guy. Yes. So that level of business you can't play with, like when you're being paid, seriously. When you're being paid that kind of money or for like, a few pieces of music, you got to really take it serious. So I did. And I came up with this whole concept behind I can't share too much, but basically it's about a certain character from a Disney movie that brought a lot of people together. Let's say that. And when I put that out there and the level of it, I fought so hard back. And right now it's live. And there's a case study about it from the UK about how famous it is in the Middle East. And it has my name all over it. And I'm like...
Yes. And you had to fight people.
Yeah. You always have to because creative.
Let's go back a little bit, right? So you came to Dubai 12 years ago?
Exactly 11 years ago.
11 years ago.
Yes, sir.
You worked for a company that had nothing to do with music?
I did. I was making music, basically making music playlists from a library of very famous music that everybody knows that would be played in certain shops like Carrefour, Galeries Lafayette, blah, blah, at certain hours of time. And the owner of that company, not my manager, the owner himself is very good friends with my eldest brother who lives in Dubai. Basically, he understood that I'm not the right guy for that position after a few months. But I already had I had my visa, I had everything, and I was ready to be launched. And my God, was I launched!
And that was you straight away from there. You started your own company.
I became a freelancer, and within 3 years, I partnered up with the oldest audio production house in Dubai called Mind Loop Studios, and the owner of that company, his name's Ahmad as well, became my mentor and made me partner. As of today, yes, I have the company, but throughout the years, he literally held my hand through running a company, and I'm infinitely grateful to him. I consider him my mentor to this day. But you know how it is. A company without the right everything in between, from the sustainability to the actual pillars, is an empty shell. So I built it for sure to an extent to what it is today, and now we're partnering with these people. So yeah,
amazing. If nobody wakes up in the morning and goes, I'm going to spend X amount of money on a tune, a track, a sound. They don't, right? So you need to have a huge amount of ability in sales.
Yeah.
To sell the idea and finally get paid for it.
Yes.
Okay, so tell me about that journey. Because I'll give you an example. I was reading about this guy who owned WeWorks.
I know WeWorks, yeah.
And they went bust. They went bankrupt. They floated. Now they're going to go bankrupt again. I think they lose about $600 to $900 million a year or something. And he's ended up with his worth $2.2 billion for taking a company down, and SoftBank for billions of dollars.
It's crazy, huh?
Then I was reading about what happened when he took the company down. He actually charged them around $130 million for consultancy fee. I mean, think about it, right? He's just taken a company down for billions, and then he says, for me to consult you, to get you out of the shit that I got you in, you have to pay me $130 million for his time. So I was thinking, well, I'm not going to say anything because you could sue me, but this guy's got self-worth, right?
Yeah, he does.
He's got massive self-worth.
Massive self-worth, which took ages.
He mismanaged the company.
Yeah.
Took him down for billions, and he still got to. At one stage, listen to this. He charged the We brand off the company. He charged them over $5 billion. He says, "I own the We rights, so WeWorks got to buy the We right because I'm the CEO of it for over $5 billion."
That is, I cannot fathom such numbers in any way, shape, or form. Not even a quarter of that. But his
self-worth, I would have. Probably thinking, if I was him, I'll be like feeling a bit guilty.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll offer him my services. I did take you down for about 20 billion.
Yeah.
I'll offer you my services for free.
Yeah.
But he didn't.
No, he didn't. He still had that self-worth. For me, I've seen that because I've graduated. I've graduated from charging, say, 50,000 dirhams for my services, and specifically that one product, which is Sonic branding, to a lot more, like a lot more.
So how much? And okay, when it comes to charging, if you came to me, I probably couldn't justify hundreds of thousands of dollars, right?
Yeah.
Do you charge your fees depending on the size of the business, where they're going to use it?
A lot of those points are correct, but mainly it goes down. I mean, let me explain this. It's a psychological bomb. It's a nuclear psychological bomb, right? Depending on the size of the company, how much they're willing to invest, not only in me, but in using it, and the verticals that they require, and the ideas that can be created on top of it, right? Mm-hmm. So when you think about all of these vectors and you understand the value of audio branding as a whole, you can either go with an international company that does it, or you can go with one guy who is dedicated to literally sculpting it out from zero. Mm-hmm, right? Mm-hmm. And it's sort of like buying a tailor-made 296 GTB Ferrari, right? It's just you're choosing every time, or an 812
I'm picking mine up I was supposed to pick mine up tomorrow.
Oh, no way. And a 296 GTB? Oh my goodness. I've been thinking about ordering one myself.
I had one on order and it was supposed to come in 2 years.
Yeah.
And then
How'd you get so lucky to get it so early?
Listen to this. I'm driving along thinking, if I'm really rich, I have to beat the queue.
Yeah.
Beat the queue. Because what's the point of getting one when everybody's got one, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So I literally phoned up Ferrari.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, listen, do you have a 290? Because you're the luckiest human being.
Yeah.
I just had a cancellation an hour ago.
You are
I did a
indeed
U-turn. I did a U-turn, literally dropped the deposit. I'm supposed to pick it up tomorrow, but I'm going to Holland. So I'm picking it up on Monday.
Well, I'm more than happy to pick it up on your behalf and give it a little bit of a test drive.
But it's not the colors that I want, but hey.
Which color did you get it in?
It's not the Ferrari red, it's the racing Ferrari red.
The racing Ferrari red.
A little bit of oranges to it.
That's the one I sort of have on my 458 Speciale. So
Right,
yes,
amazing.
yes.
And then the inside is kind of dark cream.
Ooh, that's lovely.
It's
that's
nice.
actually a
But I
unique
like
combination.
black on black.
Yeah?
I have a F8.
Lovely.
But it's black interior, black.
And the Tributo is a very powerful machine, and I believe it's basically having a 488 pista without the name of the 488 pista, and it genuinely functions as so on the track.
Beautiful.
Funny enough,
296 is another level.
I just drove a 296 in the Autodrome on Sunday.
Oh, did you go to the event?
Yes, I went to the event.
Yeah,
I was there.
I was invited, but I don't do racing.
Oh man, listen, it's just such a unique experience. I love exhilarations.
I would have met you there on Sunday if I'd come. Yeah.
You would have loved it. We have a track day on the 12th of October now, so check your email. Make sure to come. It's in Abu Dhabi. But yes, for me, Ferrari is also a very big topic in my life because it's my absolute favorite brand, and being 29 years old and already having two is an honor.
Which ones do you have?
I have a California T-Handling Speciale and I have the 458 Speciale.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. So these are my babies.
Yeah, I had the 458, really nice. It was on my vision board.
Oh, no way.
And when I came to Dubai with nothing, and it was a white with a black roof. And that's exactly the car I got.
Mine on Facebook in 2014, I posted a photo of a red 458 with red interior and white stitching. And I wrote one day. And when I got it a year and a half ago, I went to the exact same image on my Facebook and I wrote, guys, by the way, guys, I made it lol. And that comment got over 15 likes from my personal friends. And everybody's just reacting.
Yes.
And they're like, no, you know? And yeah, for me, it's been a vision. I just, like the poster, like being a poster kid, right? Like just looking at it and be like, one day I'm going to get that thing. And I made the right decision. I could have bought it years ago, but I made the right decisions to build my businesses before I go and I splendor on it. And I think a lot of people just rush into wanting to get the thing. It's an after effect of, not a need to. And that's what people don't understand about these cars or these villas or whatever it is.
But I believe in abundance, right? If it makes you feel good.
Yes.
I don't track days. I'm asked constantly. I'm asked to join other Ferrari owners and get in line, and 100 of you go to. I'm like, then I'm a sheep, right?
Absolutely.
I don't want to be in a queue of other Ferrari owners. I want to be on my own.
Yes.
That's why Ferrari's got 2 seats, right?
Absolutely.
Otherwise, it'd be a bus.
Absolutely. It would be indeed a bus.
Exactly.
Even the Parasangue, the 4x4 they just released, or whatever. Sorry, Ferrari, I didn't mean 4x4. I don't know how the super SUV or whatever. Doesn't.
I have one on order. I know, but
I'll give it a chance if you take me for a ride. All right.
I'll show you the pictures and everything. I'll send it to you.
I'll go for a ride with you.
We'll see how it goes.
To see how it goes.
We have a Porsche Cayenne.
Lovely.
So I think it'd be a nice replacement.
It's definitely a step up. But for me,
Ferrari
is just the thing. But basically, that's what Sonic branding is, right? You can get a guy who is the equivalent, or a studio or a production house or whatever, that is the equivalent of a Toyota, that will give you something that will work to an extent and get you from A to B. Or you can get Ahmad Haffar, who's literally the Ferrari of Sonic branding, like literally. And that's why I charge, like, the bare minimum of a company is for them to understand that when I create this and within X amount of time, there is a good amount of guarantees that are going to happen. And people are like, but where can you give us the data to guarantee? I'm like, it's a whole system. I mean, if you listen, go to any Rixos hotels on planet Earth, any Rixos hotel, the second you walk in, it's my music. The second you walk into the room, it's my, call them, any of them, it's my music. Go to Qatar, there's a Qatari variation of the music I made for them. Go to Taj Hotels, same thing. Like, I've tackled pretty much every industry. If you know Kellogg's,
absolutely.
Kellogg's, that little, that plays worldwide. That's me. So people just have no idea. And, like, for me, it's on a business level. I need people on a business level to know. But there are certain ones that really just struck the chord in a certain way. Like Atisalat Switch TV, the Switch TV. Like, it's just the way I deliver it, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, for me, sonic branding is a very important thing. And it helped me pave the way to have a production house and to eventually build my own school, because it's such a conceptual thing out of zero. And that's where I've come up with these melodies that have struck the hearts of literal millions. And yeah, sonic branding is a nuclear bomb of psychological effect when done right. It doesn't mean you just rush to the biggest people who've done it.
You didn't have any education in sonic branding, right?
I had no education in school, let alone music production, let alone marketing, let alone any of that.
So you developed this afterwards. You got to realize that
out of necessity. Out of necessity.
So you started your own company after 3 years of...
I purchased a production house that was well established from the previous owner. I became partner. And recently, I've started my very own ever first business, which is my school, which is the first of its kind in the region. So
we're going to come to that. I don't want you to
we're going to come
Let's
to
that.
Let's
go to the first business.
Yeah.
So do you remember your first meeting?
Absolutely.
Tell me about it. Tell me about how was it? What was the negotiations? Was it about money? What was it? Tell me.
It was a sonic branding for one of the biggest names in the Middle East at the age of 22.
They called you, or you called them with the idea?
No. I would go to LinkedIn or Facebook and get to the close friend or best friend of the person I want to reach. I would add them. I would befriend them. I would go out to coffee or dinner with them, and I would randomly ask if they know a certain person in that certain company, in which I know for the fact that they know the highest person, not just a person.
Wow.
The
so you didn't approach a person direct?
No.
You did it indirectly?
Yeah.
Wow.
I remember buying an AC/DC vinyl for a decision maker for a very big brand, and going to his villa in the Palm and knocking on his door around 8:30 p.m. And when he opened the door, he's like, Ahmed? And I'm like, hey, I know this is your favorite album and this is an original cut. I was 21, 22 at the time. And I paid a few $1,000s for that AC/DC record. And I told him, all I want is 5 minutes of your time. And he's like, absolutely, please, welcome. And from that $2,000, $3,000 investment, I made around 30. So in terms of return. And the thing is, sonic branding for me, or music branding, is not a job. It's so much fun, because it's from the conceptualization, creation, implementation, and then seeing the effects of it. It really toys with my soul a little bit. So every time I do it, it means a lot to me. Like right now, just yesterday, I confirmed doing the music and the background music and a lot for pretty much the whole package for one of the biggest mall chains in the Middle East, including Dubai. I'll tell you, it's fine. It's Dubai. It's basically Festival City. So Dubai Festival City Mall, Festival City Plaza, Saudi, Egypt. So pretty soon you're going to be hearing all my music there. As you're walking, you're going to be hearing my voice. It's the whole package. The Imagine Fountain Show as well. And my announcements there. It's really a lot, because I offer my clients so much from music to voice, and not necessarily just me, because I have the production house. We have hundreds of voices in any language and any age. And we have a lot of composers and engineers to get everything done on an audio level for post-production, such as the ads you hear everywhere.
So I want to talk about money first.
Yeah.
When you were charging, this guy $30,000, for instance, do you think, oh shit, $30,000?
Yeah.
And how did you overcome that? How do you go from $30,000 to $100,000, $200,000? I guess some of these deals are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, I guess, right?
Potentially.
Mm-hmm. So how do you negotiate? Go from that level to that level? What? Tell me about that process.
What I did, humbly speaking, genuinely, nobody did. As a singular guy running a company, building a school, specifically, I'm talking about that time frame, 2020, 2023, let's say, and doing so many different things at the same time. My main focus, my moneymaker, was sonic branding. And with every single case study that came out in Dubai or Saudi Arabia, like when I did Salam, which is basically it's STC, and it's around 11 million people that hear that on a monthly basis. So it's just the level of power that my work had, the awards I have.
But at the beginning you didn't, right? You're
Not
a
at all.
22-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Going
21,
out,
22,
21,
that's correct.
22, and you're going to do a deal what gave you the balls to actually, because now it's a lot easier. People come to me now because you got millions of followers and they go, oh, he's some, it's different. But right at the beginning, when nobody knows you, it's harder.
Absolutely.
So I want you to tell the listeners, what was it for you to value something that may have to the market been seconds, charge $30,000-ish, whatever.
Yeah. So how sonic branding works is that you've got a 4-second melody and then different variations that are applied in different ways, like a song designed for the phone, a song designed for background, retail, could be anything. I'm not the guy who came up with what sonic branding is, of course, not at all, but I have adapted it in my own way because of my unique background of not having any musical or normal education.
Yes.
That would be my starting point with a client, my story. This is why I'm unique, and this is why I deserve that. I think I deserve this much. I got 1,001 no's, but all I needed was a few yeses to escape poverty, because that is what it was. My father hasn't sent me a single dollar since the age of 21, and I'm extremely proud of that because my dad is humble and up to himself, basically. So I had to take care of me. But basically, I would just tell them my story and tell them how unique I am and how much I believe in my uniqueness, and having the background of people like Nancy Ajram and blah, blah, blah. And then people be like, are you serious? I'll be like, yeah, here, go to YouTube, write this. Who's that kid with the long hair and the orange guitar? Who's that kid sitting on the piano? Who just kissed him on the cheek? Is that or is that not Nancy Ajram? And the fact that Nancy Ajram called me a genius when I was 17 years old, or a lot of other people just compliment bombing me, has given me a unique type of character and confidence that I didn't abuse. Because personally, I'm not better than anybody.
But what the guy could, they talk about negotiations, right?
Yeah.
So he likes you because you don't do business with anyone unless you like him. So they all like you, right? Yeah. They love your story. But then they could charge you $5,000. They could say, everybody negotiates,
absolutely.
Right? So right at the beginning, you crossing poverty, and this guy says, you say 30,000. He goes, whoa, 30,000? I'll give you 2. How do you stick your gun? How do you stuck it out and say, no, 30? This is how much it's worth. Do you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And I would make very, very big statements.
Why am I paying 30,000 for 4 seconds work? Do you know what I'm saying? That's
It's the psychological effect behind it and how you take them through that journey. For me, one of the most successful techniques is to really allow them to understand the process that goes behind it. But obviously they could be like, yeah, but I don't care. So what I would do is that I would get extremely creative with how I make a point. So here's one story that I think will answer your question perfectly.
Please.
I went to a meeting that gave birth, once I won it, to currently one of the most famous pieces of music between Dubai and Saudi Arabia. And people hear it 1,000 times a day. And the reason why it's such a unique thing, and the reason why I'm not stating the name of the client, because this is a bit of a private story, and I'm going to say it. It's the first time I say it on a podcast, by the way. I was 22 years old, towards the end. I was dating a girl at the time. Her name's Yasmin. She's from Saudi Arabia, who was very, very supportive. I was practically living with her. And as I created that pitch, I was a little bit spoiled by her. She was a few years older than me. She got me whatever I wanted. She saw me for who I truly was and the value that I hold. She was the very first person who actually got me a Ferrari. Believe it or not, yeah. And that's how I experienced my very first Ferrari, thanks to her. I hope she's doing well wherever she is. And basically, I also got my hands on a hunting rifle. Ready for this? And it's a hunting rifle with a scope. I'm not into hunting animals, but I am into shooting in general. Like anybody, you know? Just like, this target's 200 meters away, to calculate the wind. It's a lot of fun. And I've never shot anything alive, but basically I got that thing and I had a license with it. I was above 21, so I could. Anyone can really. And I had it with me and I took it out to the range a few times. And basically when I went to that meeting the very morning, I made a concept called Bullseye. And I went crazy with it. And then Yasmin at the time was like, you're absolutely insane. Like, you're actually insane if you're going to be doing something like this. I took it with me to the meeting. To try to convince the client what is in this thing. And basically it happened. I got to the end of the presentation. Everybody was just like, like they're seeing the skid walk in. It was exactly 7 people and an extremely important person in the middle, Allah yarhamu, who passed away. billionaire basically. And you've got these people there and the man in the middle, who I was honored to have gotten that meeting. And I got that meeting because of a woman who saw me a bit like her son. And she pushed for me. She pushed for that meeting. She really helped me out. Anyway, long story short, I had the thing with me. It's in a big black box. And I asked everybody towards the end, after my entire presentation, which they liked, I said, so in this box right here, I've got a tool of precision. And that's why you should go with me, because I'm a one-shot guy. What do you guys think is in this tool? And everybody spoke Arabic, so I was speaking Arabic at the time. And one person said, his name was Muhammad. Muhammad's like, "Ya akhi, da guitar." And then another woman was like, "Da piano," and blah blah blah. Obviously, I'm there for music, right? And I sold them the whole concept of what music branding is and why it's important, and it has nothing to do with the jingle, which is a very big thing in our industry. And I'm like, no, this is a tool of precision. This is the proof that I'm a one-shot guy. I do it once and it hits. And they're like, okay, what is it? And then I told them, please do not worry. Please do not panic. Just don't panic. And I'd like you to understand that this is who I am with you here today. 1, 2, 3, 4 to the side. And I opened it. A literal gasp filled the room. And everything, like an actual
gun to them.
Yes. To a professional office next to a billionaire, and I laughed, and everybody laughed with me. And I told them, I told you, I'm the kind of guy who shoots once and hits a bullseye, and I got the job.
And pricing, money. What do you think of money?
Love it. I absolutely love it. As
you
a means to an end.
You always love money?
Absolutely. I always loved money. For a means to an end, it means a lot to me. And the freedom that it comes with it, the power that it comes with it. And what I love more than money is the fact that I made all this money doing something so unique that is in the 1% of my industry. I am currently 29 years old, and anybody who is to an extent anywhere near my level, even though they're not as diversified as I am, but say in one of the things I do, are quite literally double my age. So for me, if I'm here at 29, I'm probably going to be a multi-millionaire by 35. So, or maybe not, or maybe I'm going to fail and rebuild and blah, blah, blah. But along those lines, I made so many good and powerful friends who like me for who I am, and I like them for who I am. Like, look how cute he is. He's my friend now as well. So,
you know, every time you say cute, I feel like I'm a cuddly bear or something.
You are, in the best way possible. The thing is, I cannot even begin to explain how much I can see into your good soul. I think that's what I felt from the very first second. We are good soul people. We are the kind of people who understand the level above.
Not cuddly bear.
You're adorable, and I really mean it. Like, for me,
not a cuddly bear. Anything but not cuddly.
He's a gladiator.
Maybe a laughing Buddha.
Okay, he's actually, that is somehow more fitting. Oh my God, I don't know how you got there. He's a gladiator. Okay, this is you. No, you look fine. This is you. He's a gladiator that wakes up with a smile. The kind of smile that has a Buddha laugh. The Buddha laugh that fills your soul. From the that goes up all the way to looking at you and say, yes, of course, and good morning. And you're like, now that's the kind of man I want to say good morning to. So ladies, he's here and he's ready. The Gladiator limited edition, cute and cuddly bear, now available at all stores. Actually, only in this room.
You're going to charge me for this,
No, this one's a gift.
I refuse to pay this one.
First one's a gift. But yeah, money is a very important thing to me. For me to...
Thank you for that, by the way.
You're very welcome. It's my pleasure. It's to grow as much as I can. What I can tell you about me is that I'm very diversified. So say The Voice, right? 99% of the most famous voices you've heard in Dubai, I've done for free. I've approached the client. No one called me. And take Dubai Opera, for example, right? When you hear, let's compare English and Arabic, the tonalities, right? You've been to Dubai Opera, is that correct?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. So when you hear the English, it's,
ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dubai Opera. An usher will be guiding you to your seats. The show is about to begin in the next 15 minutes, blah, blah, blah. And then you go to
Don't tell me you've done that. That's your
That's
voice.
me. Can you not recognize it?
Well, now you're telling me. I'm like, I didn't even pay attention to it.
But well, there you go. There you go. And the Arabic is السيدات والسادة مرحبا بكم في دبي أوبرا يرجى العلم blah 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 blah.
Do you do Emirates Airlines?
I've worked on a lot of different projects that are extremely diversified, and some of them are just focused on a very unique style of tonality. Let me give you one. Look at InstaShop, right? English and
Yes,
Arabic.
yes.
This is a town that I made for InstaShop. Shops you love delivered better. Download the InstaShop app now.
But then when you go to Arabic, it's
محلات حبونا توصيل تسألونا حملوا تطبيق InstaShop الآن.
so what I do is that I craft tonalities that fit a certain audience and become the official voice of, meaning I give them a contract and I charge them pretty cheap. So whatever the market rate is, I cut it in half because I don't need them. I don't need the money.
Wow.
I do it for consistency and growth. And a lot of the times I've put
And
my
then you're
voice.
building relationships, right?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
you're building relationships, and I put my voice a lot in what's it called? In like, say for example, Dubai Expo 2020, the bus tours in English, right? It's just the
Dubai Expo 2020 حياكم.
like it's just the way it comes out, blah blah. And like, there's so much that I did that are relevant to the other things that I do. So the voice, I built a school out of it, right? And I teach in a very unique way, but I then made it about people's personality and confidence. We'll get to that one. And at the same time, it all steamed out of sonic branding. So when you look at, for example,
So when was the point when you thought, hang on a second, I can put on this voice
Yeah.
and I can earn money
Yeah.
straight away, or
straight away. So when I purchased Mind Loop Studios, you know, I had these people, I had these responsibilities. I was working 24/7. I was quite literally, guys, look at me. I'm not joking. Sleeping in the office and literally showering in the bathroom, okay? Like for days on end, because I had to run a business and I was like 23, 24. Basically, as Mind Loop Studios, 90% or 80% of the work we do is day-to-day voiceover recordings, radio ads, online ads, TV commercial ads, whatever it is. And we have hundreds of people. So what I wanted to do is anything that is male in English and Arabic, why don't I do it? And basically what I do is that I charge the client a little bit less, keep more profit on the profit margin because I'm not paying the freelancers. So it started off as a business thing. It's just for me to grow my sales or my profit
were
in the
you kind
company.
of cringing at first? You're like,
Yeah,
oh,
absolutely. And I would call my mom. Like when I discovered the low tonality, I specifically remember it was for something that had to do with the Dubai International Airport. And I remember that I had to keep going down. And I just discovered it by mistake. And then I remember my mom and my sister, my girlfriend at the time, and a bunch of other people were like, who is this guy? So I would call someone and be like,
The number you have dialed is not available. Please try again later. إن الرقم الذي طلبتونه ليس متاحا حاليا.
and people would close the line.
now I get it. Yeah.
Literally. And basically it's just to create that level of
Amazing.
relevance to the marketing journey that they require. At the moment, I just got signed as the official voice of CFI. I've got Service My Car. It's really a lot. And when I say official, it means they're legally not allowed to use someone else. So usually a brand goes to an artist and says, you're not allowed to work with anybody else.
You
You're
do
ours.
the other way around.
So it's consistent money for my business. I don't pay myself. I'm the owner. So I just grow it. And then I offset the amount that I make to grow the business and pay my employees some bonuses or whatever
So how
it
many
is.
full-time staff do you have now?
Currently, I have
Sonic.
six in the production house and two in the school. Yeah.
So you have a number of businesses and the school.
No, it's the production house and the
And
school.
the school. So
Those
tell
are the
me
two
about
businesses.
the school.
So Sonic branding gave birth to the school. It's the idea of conceptualizing everything from zero and doing things in a way where it is so peculiar and so designed from zero. Just like when you go to configure when you went to, well, you didn't configure your 296, but let's say, with the one you place your order on, I did as well.
You pick the
right?
parts and the bits.
Every tiny bit. So when people want to become voiceovers, okay, or anything in the creative media field, they go to a university or whatever that is the equivalent of. Like they can go to SAE and get an audio engineering bachelor's degree, and then they go in the market. They do something called an internship. So I had a vision, which I called the modern internship. Basically, we teach people 3 years of experience in the equivalent of 3 months. And every program is designed from zero based on something called an assessment, which is a 15 questionnaire. After they do it, they're either going to enter or they're going to be rejected entry. Based on what? Merit, personality, character, confidence, all of the things that has nothing to do with their voice or musical talents. It's just them as human beings. We identify the pros and the cons, and I have a template program that gets to be amended and modified for each and every person. And then I got the teachers, whether it's audio production or voiceovers or whatever, that have 20 plus years of experience more than me. And I taught them what I've created. And then I assigned the teacher to the student, explained the whole process to both, overview at each and every operation. And so far, we've graduated 71 students. More than half of those are now full-time or part-time voiceovers and audio engineers and music composers. And people pay a lot of money to join the school if they're allowed to join the school. It's called On the Field Creative Academy. There isn't a lot about it online yet other than my articles, but there's a lot of success stories. Like the voice of Neom. There's a girl who's 12 years old. Her name is Angela Najjar and Angie. And Angie became the voice of Neom because of us. Like, because of me personally. By the way, at that time, I taught her. I had no teachers. And her mom, who's a lovely woman, gave me Angie and her younger sister, and I taught both of them. And Angie had one demo, which was basically we create their portfolio, their demos, we connect them in the market, we tell them how much to charge, what to do, what not to do to not get ripped off. The whole thing.
How to manage themselves.
The whole 180-degree arts, right? Whatever you would ever
So she's
need.
12, so her mother must have enrolled her.
Yes,
in the course,
yeah. So we've had students.
How much is the course?
55 grand at the moment. It might be increasing very soon because I know its value now.
For 3 months.
For 3 months, yeah.
Wow.
And basically, it goes from 8 years old all the way to 60 plus. And this is called the voiceover program and the audio for voiceover, where we buy them the mics, the systems, the programs. We teach them everything. We literally give them 3 years of experience in 3 months. Like,
So
yeah.
YouTubers and stuff like this, they could benefit from it, right?
Absolutely, anybody. And so I built the audio engineering one specifically for the audio engineers who want to become composers. Sonic branding, you cannot teach, nor do I want to teach it. Get away from that. That's mine. But then you have a program that I just recently developed that I'm partnering up with a very important university with. That's called Speech and Communication, which is designed for CEOs actually and kids. Like, they don't want to be voiceovers. They don't want to be in that professional world, but they want to learn everything that has to do with it.
Correct.
Exactly. And that's called Speech and Communication. And I've had the honor to assist and help and teach Ronaldo Mushawar, the CEO of Amazon. Hi, Ronaldo, in case you watch this, love you and miss you, call me. Who at the end of the sessions, I looked at him and I'm like, what do you think of this cool thing? But it was during the early days. And Ronaldo was like, I asked him, like, do you think I'll ever get to that level? And I swear to God, I mean this, and I'm saying this publicly, and I hope you see this, Ronaldo. He looked at me and he said, see you in the Billionaires Club. Shook my hand and walked away. Genuinely.
Wow.
It is one of the most powerful and impactful statements that I've received so far. And I believe that whatever I've achieved so far, even though, so I've voiced over 100 companies, 20 of them are announcements based and extremely famous. Of course, I'm not the only guy doing this stuff, but I have scaled up there. And that's where the whole Voice of Dubai came. But then it became serious when I was taken serious by certain people in certain places that has to do with my story, not my voice. So a lot of people think Voice of Dubai is my voice. No.
No, voice is the product.
Voice is the product.
The story is
it's the story.
Yeah.
As a music composer.
Emotional
Exactly. As a music composer who didn't study, as a school dropout, as an entrepreneur, as a serial entrepreneur, as someone who is a marketing leader and marketing executive and marketing conceptualizing genius, basically. That is the Voice of Dubai. I am a representative of the quality that is coming out of this country. And I've voiced Dubai police. I've worked on, I've done a lot of governmentals. The For Humanity
Can you say Voice of Dubai without the permission of the Dubai government?
Absolutely not. Imagine.
Exactly.
It was never self-titled in any way. It was never. I would never. It's entirely based on the fact that I got recognized by certain people who gave me a call and said, yes, you. End of the line. That's all I can say. Cannot utter a single word on top of that. But what I can tell you is I am literally honored because this country has become my home.
Incredible. Yeah.
Genuinely become my home. And it was all through innovation. Dariush, I really mean this. Imagine this. Here's a kid, right, who had no education. Here's a kid who did not want to study music. Here's a kid who's so opinionated, who got bullied a lot. Here's a kid who got through a car accident where he was the only survivor and his two best friends. Yeah, we're gonna get there. The only survivor who lost his two best friends, who came to Dubai with literally nothing, whose dad gave him around $20,000 in total and told him Assalamu alaikum and best of luck, who discovered a product barely anybody was doing around the Middle East, jumped to become the top of it, became a partner in an audio production house, took it to the next level by using his voice to sell even more products and help even more agencies, worked tirelessly, and then adapted to a school format which became its own independent school that's helped a lot of people without having the educational platform from background experience, and then made his music so famous that most companies have to at least sit down with me for 10 minutes before they say yes or no. And I did all of that falling in love with me first.
And the location.
This
country provided you with that platform.
So much. It is truly becoming the city of gold. And the thing is, it's not about the money, because I know people who have 1,000,000,000 times more money than me, but they're not as happy or creatively satisfied or career-wise feel anywhere near as accomplished. Anywhere I look, in Dubai or in Saudi or in Qatar or in Kuwait, anywhere I look, oh, I did that. Oh, I did the voice of that. Oh, I did the music of that. Oh, I did the this of that. Oh, I did the that of that.
Is that where your motivation is?
Yes, absolutely. Like when like it's insane when you. I'll tell you one thing. I remember being extremely caught off guard when I was with my mother in Dubai Festival City Mall, and I had voiced massive campaigns for Toyota. And there was like scan this QR code for an audio journey. And as soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh, that's me. I'm like, mama. And I grabbed her hand and she's like, what do you want? And I'm like, Leke, look at this. They explain, and basically it's the audio journey of the car, blah, blah, blah. See, this one's for English and this one's for Arabic. Scan it. And my mom's like, why would I scan that? And I'm like, mama, just scan it. And then she gave me this look like, do you have something to do with this? And I'm like, mama, please just scan it. And then she scanned it, and then I'm like, put it here. And then immediately my voice came, blah, 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 blah. My mom cried. Wow. Yeah. So I had a lot of those push. Like, my mom lives a queen's life because of me. And I'm so proud of that. I got dude, it's the level of pride that I got that pushed me through and through. And if people or brands do not understand the value of having their leadership well taught in speech and communication or creating an audio brand identity, and you're right, not many people know to an extent. Like, there's a client in Saudi Arabia that I pitched for and I lost to because of a global sonic branding agency that won it. So
probably
they
not
didn't
as
go
good,
for one
but
guy.
they felt safe.
They felt safe.
Yeah,
they
think
felt safe.
I can't be fired if I go ahead with
Precisely.
them. Yeah.
But now that it launched, it went head to head with something I've done, and I won the award.
Wow.
Imagine 20 composers globally from Paris, Germany, and some others who put their heads together to craft this 4-second melody with me in my bedroom on a VST keyboard, virtual instrument keyboard. I did a better job.
Wow.
Because of the award. I mean, the award says for itself.
Why 4 seconds?
4 seconds
Why
because
not 6? Why not 2?
It's all about how it gets stuck in your head, right? So if I were, take again insurance market for example. Why does insurance market have the voice in it? A lot of my music, a lot of the sonic branding, the 4-second melodies do not have any voice. Sure. They're just a melody. Sure. But they get stuck in your head in a certain way. Insurance market, I want it to be annoying. Let's take Shoba Realty for example, right? It's just the Trna Shoba. Like, my delivery of Shoba, it's just that signature sound gets stuck in your head. So wherever you hear it, whether in an event, sitting next to someone, whatever it is, like, seriously, it's absolutely insane. Look at Atisalat Sonic, the composed by what's his name? My partners, basically. So basically, it's a very, very empowering thing to utilize those elements. And what we did for Atisalat and how we put it together, it's insane how empowering to the brand it is and how part of the DNA it becomes. But it takes time to take over. 4 seconds because it's a signature. Yes. When you remember a song, you usually remember the chorus.
Has it been proven psychologically that 4
Absolutely,
seconds?
Absolutely. 4 to 5 max. Like,
and it's only like 4 sounds. Am I correct? Or I was told that they tend to be 4, whatever you call them, keys.
Yeah. So it could be a
layer. There's only a certain number of keys, isn't it, that you play?
It could be a layer of anything. Like, for me, I'm just a very conceptual person. Like, every new brand, most of the time, I have it in my head. Like, to give you an idea, if I were to open up just my voice notes right now, you'll see on this camera, all of here is basically where my ideas get to be born.
So you constantly
create. Look. All of these are just sonic branding ideas. Wow. And it's all for different type of clients.
So you're still the only creative person in the company. You're the one who here.
Yeah.
In your head.
Yeah. So my production house, Mind Loop Studios, we provide anything audio related, from voiceovers, sound design, sound effects, mixing, mastering, jingles. Yes. I don't do any of that, right? Unless a client. So when a client says, I want to use Ahmad, yeah. When they say like, I want to use Ahmad Haffar's voice, I'm sorry, you're not allowed to. You're not allowed to use my voice. My voice is exclusive to certain brands, and that's it. Okay. I'm not here to, So, and there's prior approval, there's blah, blah, blah that is required. Every single other voiceover
So
in the
you've
country.
almost trademarked your name, right?
If it's fully trademarked, I mean, legally speaking, yes. So
Wow.
basically, I cannot put my voice on just anything. It just doesn't work that way. It has to be for a certain type of brand or on top of a Sonic branding logo. But even when I look at this over here, I'll read you some of these. Futem Sonic, Futem 2. This is for Dubai Festival City.
Yes.
Here, I'll just read these. Shoemart Social, Shoemart Corporate, Shoemart Sonic, Mall of the Emirates, Lexus. Yeah. CFI. These are all Sonics that I'm Ellington.
Amazing.
Danube.
So it doesn't stop.
No, it doesn't stop. Like when I did, so for example, Danube Home is Danube Home, which you're all gonna be hearing now. It started off, I think, like this. So that turned to, please allow me to play you this.
Sure.
If basically, so this is where you can have that entire idea of how it all came together. I'm just trying to find.
Don't you find the tracks overlap each other, or you can do the 4 second and you clear?
No, it's the 4 seconds first and then everything else. So to do this one more time, you listen to this. This is the idea of how it came to be born. And then this is the final product.
4 seconds.
So you see that melody, as soon as I leave, you might hear it a few times out there in the wild, whether it's Dubai or wherever they have a Danube Home and market it. And you'll be like, yeah, that's stuck in my head. And that is when you're thinking, oh, I need to buy a chair. First thing you're going to think of is Danube Home. You know, obviously you might go to IKEA because IKEA, right? But it just goes down the way. And it's
every
also,
little bit counts.
Every
right?
little bit counts. And it's the style that I've developed in the world of Sonic branding that absolutely differentiated me.
Right now, do you work for any companies outside the Middle East, or is it?
Yes, absolutely. I am currently talking to a bunch of brands globally, and I am partnering up with the people who did the music for Coca-Cola, who did the music for SNCF, Paris Airport, Samsung, who did the music for major global brands, who I am now becoming their managing director and co-owner in the Middle East. And because of them, I will now go to the next level of Sonic branding on a global scale. I will be on the global stage as a platform. And considering the fact that whatever I've composed for Sonic branding was while I was doing the voices, while running Mindloop Studios, while building a school, while doing comedy, while being on TV, while hosting events, I'm just a machine.
What's this about the crash? How old were you? Where was this? I heard you were in a coma. Tell me.
It was 2012, August 2nd. My mother was in France because my sister was giving birth to the first kid in the family and told me not to leave Tripoli, not to go to Beirut. I had a friend called Ahmad Haffar, who I will always speak about until the end of time, who was my closest friend. I knew him since I was 6. Proper genius. Proper. Spoke a few languages, ginger, green eyes, very smart, very introverted. You know, those guys. And we were very close. And another guy called Muhammad, who was the opposite. Very tall, very silly, very, yo, what's up, bro? And we were very, very close since a very young age. And a guy called Basil Kashtan, who was also a very close friend of ours, who left to Canada at the age of 14, 13. And he abandoned us. And me and Muhammad and Ahmed remained close. And on that day, they came and picked me up. We went to basically
Beirut.
In Tripoli at the time. It started in Lebanon. It started out in Tripoli on the beach in the area called Al Mina, which is the beach. And we're all like, we're bored. I had more money than all of them. So I'm like, guys, I got $100 bill. Like, let's do whatever. And they're like, what? You got $100 bill? And at the time, I was dating a girl who called me and told me, you know, come to Beirut. And it was the classic nobody's home. So I looked at Ahmad and women, man. I looked at Ahmad and I'm like, yo, we gotta go to Beirut. What's going on?
And how far is the journey?
An hour and a half. And we went there. Unfortunately, because there was no GPS at the time, I didn't know exactly how to get to her house without using the bus transport system at the time during the day. And I messed up and we ended up in an opposite street. So we're going like this and the traffic's going like that. And we literally happened to be right next to a police station that kindly asked us to park on the right. The car was gonna get impounded. We were gonna go to jail that night. Not jail, but like detention until our family picked us up. Unfortunately, one of the big officer, the Amid, who came that night to pretty much tell us we're confiscating the car because Ahmad had no license. He had nothing. He was under 18. We were all under 18.
You're naughty.
Exactly, we were naughty. And unfortunately, that guy knew my friend Muhammad's mom. And he literally let us go because of that. If he didn't, there wouldn't have been an accident. That's how life's meant to work. So obviously I called this girl and I told her, listen, we're going back. This happened. Ahmed and Muhammad were extremely angry at me for guiding them the wrong way. And we almost got into this shit show. And on the way back, we stopped in an area called Junia in Kaslik. Kaslik in Junia. And he saw a bunch of friends for a little bit. And then on the way back, I was just sleeping. My dad was calling me, where are you? It's almost 2 a.m. Your mom's going to kill you. And I'm like, Baba, we're on the way back. I'm just going to sleep at my friend's house. And he's like, okay, be safe. And ironically, even after taking the whole journey, right before we got to the entrance of Tripoli, there was a taxi in front of us that didn't have any backlights and stuff. I don't remember much of it, but I literally remember waking up to screams and feeling weightless. The
car hit the taxi?
No, the car fell from the bridge, 3 stories long, 2.5 stories long, to the valley. It hit front, back. Both of them died.
You were asleep? You didn't see how the car ended?
No.
You'll never know.
I literally woke up feeling like black. So Ahmad Muhammad passed away.
Instantly?
Yeah. No, Ahmad survived for 2 hours. Muhammad instantly. I was taken.
Do you remember them at the crash? You remember yourself in the hospital?
No. Yeah. I remember waking up from a coma is what I remember, Darius. I remember my father on his knees crying, kissing my hand. I remember my mom screaming from the top of her lungs, telling me, didn't I tell you so? Didn't I tell you so? Because my mom had a...
That's the last thing you want to hear when you just... Yeah.
Tell me about it. Tell me about
Mom,
it.
just wait.
See, the thing is, my mom has a bit of this superpower, and I want to share this publicly. I think you guys should hear this. Throughout my life, my mom used to go to me and my siblings once a year, once in 2 years, and say she had that dream. And according to the history of our family, whenever she says she has had that dream, it tends to happen. A week before my mom went to France, I woke up. I used to sleep very late at the time. And I woke up and I went to the balcony. My mom was actually crying while having coffee and a cigarette. She not only saw the crash, she saw me die. And that's why she insisted so much on not me leaving the area. And when the accident happened, what people need to know is that... I told you so. And my heart stopped for 46 seconds, came back to life without medical assistance. Let me repeat that. My heart stopped for 46 seconds, came back to life without medical assistance. We have in my house, in my mom's closet, on the top right side, a half-filled death certificate. I'm not even making this up. I'm dead serious. Did you have a death experience, near-death experience? Yeah. I was asked basically by priests, by sheikhs, what's it like? Legitimately. I had a broken leg, broken hand, broken shoulder, broken back. If you guys were to see me, wearing shorts and, no shirt, you'd see all my scars, and I'm proud of them. And I had to learn how to walk again. As a musician, I had to learn how to use my hands again. It was insane. But that is where my brain went from 18.
What did you see?
This is it, man. All of this.
Is it? There's nothing else coming.
Yeah, this is it. Yeah, this is it. So, why worry,
Make the most of what you have right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Why worry?
There's nothingness.
There's nothing. Why worry? Why not hug Darius because he's such a sweet man? Why not look at that person, try to be kind to them? Why not fight for yourself when being abused? Why are you addicted to things that don't matter? Why do people think money matters? I still genuinely don't understand. I love it, but it doesn't matter. There's a difference of what the money can do for me, not what I do for the money. Massive difference. We finished this podcast, me and him. He knows a few clients. I know a few clients. We help each other in business. We make a few $100,000 today itself. That is how business functions.
It's your mindset, isn't it?
It's your mindset through the goodness.
So there was one survivor.
Just me. No, I'm the only survivor.
There was 4 people in the car.
No, 3. Ahmad, Muhammad in the front, and Ahmad Haffar, myself.
Oh, I thought there was 4.
Nope.
There was 3. And
yeah.
How do you feel about that, being the only survivor?
Chosen by God.
No guilt.
No guilt whatsoever. And during my uprising, I had a lot of people who disliked me, spread rumors on me, called me a liar publicly. I had to get my lawyer involved.
Haters.
No, I got my lawyers involved multiple times. There's a lot of stuff that I'm not allowed to talk about because I'm not the only person doing them, especially in the voice sector. But that's why I want to remind you guys, I don't care about my voice. I'm a multi-serial entrepreneur. I'm a self-made millionaire. You think voiceovers make that kind of money? You crazy. No matter how famous their voice is, they're getting peanuts. Peanuts. But you guys don't know. Say, oh, he did the voice of X and Y. Peanuts. That's why I don't even charge for my voice, because it's peanuts.
It's the music
It's the music. It's the services. It's the clients. It's my team. It's the people I have. It's the quality that we assure. It's the fast delivery. It's the you're our friend and we are yours. It's the competition and how we stand up to the competition. Most competitors I have, which are only a few by the way, rely on agencies a lot, while the agencies who don't work a lot with us, I'm working with their client, so I know every single direct client who loves me. So whether or not the agency works with me, like, I hope you guys give us another chance. If we are more expensive than everybody else, I understand there's competition, there's people with less quality, with less people, and sometimes when the ad is live they don't care. I get that. They also have voices. But there's a difference between a high quality voiceover who's Emirati or Saudi or kid voiceovers or Lebanese or Egyptian or American or British or whatever it is, or Indian, whatever it is that we have. And because I have the school, because I have the 71 students, they go straight back to my other business to record for us at a better price than what they're working with the rest of the market. So this is the message I'm putting out there, is that...
Do you think that... have you ever seen a young person you think they got a talent, or you can develop that talent?
No, you cannot develop that talent.
It's either there or it's not.
Yes. And that's why you can't just join my school. You need to have that thing that makes you go...
So you got the 15 questions, and then how do they get to see the talent? You got to know the person. Do you have them on a day's trial or something?
No, I literally ask questions like, were you hit as a kid? What was your first heartbreak? Were you abused in any way? How do you discover the talent?
How do you discover the talent from those questions?
The same way I discovered mine. Through the pain.
So it's personal.
Through the pain. Every program we design, when people are like, why does this cost 55 grand and whatever? Like, because you have no idea where you are. You have no idea what it is. And the school isn't just about, hey, learn this, good luck. No, we connect them to businesses.
You make it happen.
We make it happen. End of story. So you're paying 55 grand. It's literally a matter of time to make it back. So we hold the cards here. We get to tell you.
So it's voice, music, never face.
No, never. Not well. Sort of. We teach during the voiceover one. We teach TV acting. Right. So it's part of it. It depends on what you want. So we give you all the options and everything, and it's all modular. So each person's different. But you see it this way: you've got the voiceover or acting world, you've got the audio production world, and you have the management as a boss, or your kids. What if you want your kids to speak better, have more presence, be less shy, be more confident? That's the speech and communication designed for your kids.
I know it's online as well, but where's the location to practice these?
So at the moment, I'm building the office, which is opening up in Al Quoz, and it's functioning from the location of my other company in Media City.
Wow, amazing.
Yes. In the CNN building, which is Mind Loop Studios.
Oh, I see.
So, and because they get to learn there, they're in a full-fledged audio production house. So they've got everything they need. It's pretty much happening. And it's just, I don't know, it's just, I saw the emptiness in the market, and anyone would be like, oh, I went to X place and they taught us 4 or 5 lessons in like 2 weeks. And it was one after another. We were in a classroom and they were telling us to practice how to breathe and how to take, and I'm laughing and I'm laughing and I'm laughing. And I'm like, okay, and how much you paid? Oh, we paid 7,000, 8,000 dirhams during those 2 weeks. I'm like, what did you get out of it? Honestly, Ahmad, nothing. Yeah. Nothing. It's just a guy would come in, and one of the people who teaches in that institute hates me, despises me, by the way, because all he had was his voice. It's all he had in his career. And me, someone a quarter of his age, came in. And I don't even care about my voice. I care about how to help my clients. Sure. I care about
and
how
the money comes later, the business comes later.
Exactly.
So do you think the accident had a role to play in you?
It had everything to do with where I am today. It had, when I met certain people, I never once looked at them and said, hey, I'm special. I deserve this, blah, blah, blah. I looked at them and I said, please allow me to prove this to you. Please give me a chance. I beg you. Please.
Even today.
To this day, when you're talking about a $2-3 million deal and you're not even 30 yet, it's on a
completely different level because I'm selling creativity here. I'm selling
You're saying
ideas.
nothing really.
There's
you
no
can't touch and feel.
you can't touch it,
object
you
to
can't
say.
feel, right? So for me, that's where it starts from, first and foremost. And I care about that more than anything. And the fact that I attract the right energies, the right souls, such as yourself, I'm so glad to be here because I'm with the right soul. 10% of us are self-made. You know the Ferrari.
That you respect.
Yes, and the Ferrari owners club that we're in.
Yes.
Did you know I'm the youngest person in that entire club? 150
didn't
members. I'm the youngest guy.
How old are you?
I'm 29.
No, what month?
1994 February.
My son's a month older than you. He's in the club. 26th of January, 94.
I still win the title.
Yeah, you win.
I still win the
by
title.
about 3 weeks. Proud of you. You got to meet him, by the way. You guys will get on really
Yeah,
well.
I would love to meet him. It would be
He
my
runs
pleasure.
my company here.
Ah, yeah? It would be my
I
pleasure.
introduce you if he's here on the way out. Yeah.
I would love to.
Yeah, you guys will get on really well.
I would love to. And I think as well, adding, sonic branding to what you guys are doing here. You can cut this part out. I want to say
Why
it.
not? Why can't you
Absolutely.
say it? Yeah.
It's insane. I mean, you want to help businesses grow.
Mhm.
Hello. And the niche that I'm in is just look, it's an honor. And like I was sitting in one of the board meetings. I don't know if you're there. If you remember the kid who said, well, I'm not a kid, of course, but it sounded like I was a kid. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not. And I, as the youngest person in the Ferrari club, and everybody went like, did you were you in that board meeting?
No.
In at the end of the Palm in a certain hotel?
I've never attended.
Oh no way, you've never attended, huh?
Because they say it's good networking, and I get it, right? But I just can't be bothered.
Look, I'm not at your level yet, and I love hearing from people like you and them, especially the good ones, on how to explore new things. Because yes, I love talking, but when you're telling me something important, I shut the hell up and I listen, and I respect every bit of that. But as a natural born entertainer,
the thing is, you're an entertainer, but I'm an introvert, right? So what I do here, I enjoy, but what I do online and stuff is my work, right? So social time, I'd rather not socialize with people. Does that make sense?
absolutely. And what you've done there is not just impressive. You're a genius, dude. Allow me to say
Thank
this
you,
publicly.
man.
No, I mean it.
You know my
You
story.
really
then.
are. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I looked you up. Of course I do. Here's why I like. It's the fact that you never gave anyone face. You never gave anybody face. You never really cared, and you cared. You kept that part of you so secured and so safe from everybody else's energy that you picked up on that. You always put the smile first. You always shook the hand first. You were always ready to start a conversation first. But rarely did you ever give a shit about the conversation with most of these people.
True.
And I like that about you. I respect that about
You
you
know,
because I
you're
see that
happy
value in you.
within. You're happy within. You know your values, and you're not love buying. That's the most important.
Absolutely.
You're not doing things to impress others.
No, you're not.
You are who you are. Most people don't like you because
Absolutely.
they think being happy is something you're born with. But happiness is a decision, right?
It's not only a decision, it's hard work. Like, for example, recently I'm starting to make new types of campaigns, by the way, more or less for free with my clients. Like they're buying the Sonic branding or they're signing up with my company for X amount of months. I'll be like, okay, on top of that, I'm going to give you my voice for these ads. If I want to work with them, of course, if I'm allowed to. And I'm going to give you like 3-4 social media videos where I'm the actor and it's all for free. You guys just need to produce it. And they're like, okay, let's do it. And they like it. Right now, I can say this now because the job is confirmed. I'm honored to say that I'm doing the Sonic branding and will be a bit of a face of the campaigns for Kafu. So thanks, Kafu. So, and Dubai Festival City and a bunch more. I can't talk about the rest. Some of them are big.
Do you get people saying, don't work with my competition?
Sorry?
People say, don't work with my... Like, Mercedes could say, don't work with Porsche. Porsche could say, don't work with Audi.
Yes, they do.
They do exclusivity.
But you can't stop a genius, right? So I'm not a talent. I'm not some guy who became so good at his job. You know how they say that sentence of 1 in a million?
So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I see myself in 5 years to a place where people actually appreciate me for who I truly am. People have no idea yet.
You don't feel they do right
Absolutely. 90% of people think I do voiceover for a living. It's pretty funny. So where do I see myself in 5 years? I see myself in a place where I'm appreciated for real, for who I am, where people aren't paying for their awards to win over me.
Some may think that you are already appreciated. So when is that? Because I think it's the journey, right? You're talking about the destination where
Yes.
along the way, I think people do respect you. where is that line that you're going to go, today's the day that I feel respected? Does that make sense? Because from my point of view, you are already respected.
Let me say something. The thing is, I cry when I make music. Allow me to show you something. Guys, please focus with me on this. Consider this a bit of a session where I want to make him happy. I want to put a smile on his face, and I want to put a smile on your face. I really, 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 really want this. This is an app called GarageBand. And GarageBand is an app that basically you can make music on, okay?
Yes.
You can go from very basic stuff to insanely good stuff,
Correct.
okay? So everything you're seeing here have been developed on the phone. I want to show you a few melodies that I've written that I keep to myself, okay? And these melodies are on a completely different level. So as you can see here, all I do is just... And I just do whatever I have to do in terms of making it sound good. So check these out, just a few right here.
Please do.
Check this. Okay, give it a second. All right, I think editing can make this much better. Here we go. That's it. That little melody just got accepted yesterday to be the brand identity of a brand.
Wow.
Made here.
Wow. How long did it take you to make it?
2 seconds. Listen to this one. That's how the creation started. And now, look at this. This is just one tiny project, one tiny idea.
Wow.
I open up this one. Look at this. La 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 la. And then I go and I open it up with this one, which is the second layer, and oh wait, no, that's actually a different thing completely. Now I put that out and let's see what this one is. I don't even know what this one is. Like thousands. Look, look, look. Okay, a second. Let me go a little bit here. I'm seeing here it gets more serious. Give it a second. Okay. Now, I'm not saying I'm not the only guy who does that, but the way that I do it, the way that I put out, and a lot of this
and where you
remains
place
personal.
it, right? And it's where it goes. That's the important
Yes.
too. So you will never be poor again.
No.
Unless your brain stops
no,
working.
No. As long as this is working. Okay, so this is a piece called Annoyingly Major. I'll never release it. It's personal. And the reason why is because it's so happy. It's so major. I made this on a phone. Again, here's the proof. And it's a masterpiece, really. Please, guys, join me in this where I get to give, there's this incredible energy, and to you as well. When you go to my Instagram or my TikTok, you'll see a lot of them has just a lot of my little bits of pieces here and there. But there's a reason why my music is where it is. And if you'd like to know what I've done for music, please just Google Ahmad Haffar or Voice of Dubai, Sonic Branding. You have to write Sonic Branding and you'll get the articles and the Wikipedia and whatever. And you can see the brands that I've done the music for that you hear every single day. Check this out. Now give it a minute, okay? Focus with me here. Wait for it.
Can I ask you, you're connected to the foundation?
Extremely close with them, yes.
Let's have a chat.
Absolutely.
We'll speak.
No
'Cause I
problem.
think it's a huge opportunity there
Done.
to do good for the country.
It's all about doing good.
for children.
To an extent, it really is. Everything else follows for sure. I'm going to focus on what I got to focus on. But there's nothing wrong with love.
It's all about love, actually.
It's all about love. But unfortunately, people are just so addicted to the next thing and more money.
But they
and
don't
more
know.
power.
Even then, they're looking for love, right? They're looking acceptance, appreciation. It's all
that
love.
emptiness.
Yeah.
It's that
different
emptiness.
different words we put around it.
My friend, his name is Kareem. Because of him, I got the all-new Al-Ain Plus, immune to almost everything except unskippable ads, like this one. Go ahead and skip it. Skip it. We came up with these beautiful ideas that to challenge the status quo in marketing and create actual funny content because, I'm a comedian.
And we came up with these, and the all new Alain Plus, immune to almost everything except dad jokes, like my dad. He's not really funny. And I had my dad on the Zoom, and my dad's going like this, my actual dad, and just ideas. And anyway, Karim is a genius. He has a book of his own, and he was the director of marketing for Alain, and you know, he called me up and he's like, Ahmad, I want to create some new ideas and blah blah blah. And I was honored that he did. And when I went there, I later found out that the agency that they have is also a good friend of mine who owns it, who got a little bit pissed off at me, thinking I went behind his back. And I'm like, no, please call the guy and ask him who called who, you know? And then he's like, okay, fine, whatever. And thank God that went great, because I care about my clients a lot, you know?
And your friends also.
Exactly, and my friends. Anyway, when we did that, he looked at me and I told him exactly what I told you now. Like, hey man, I think it's time for me to like start reading books, you know? It's time for me to like start listening to others. And he's like, yeah. And he took out one of his favorite books, The Ultimate Hitchhiker to the Galaxy. I forgot the name of the writer, and he gave it to me. I've been reading it recently.
That's
and,
fiction though, right?
It is fiction. And the thing is, the things going on in my head are absolutely beautiful. And for me, take me to Star Trek and let me build a ship. This is, for me, on God. It's all about the reality of what makes me amongst others. Because professionally, at the end of the day, people need to understand that there are people like me who are as good, if not better than me, who will never get a chance in life. Just the way it's
when you
written.
look at, do you know, we've been an hour and 45 minutes.
Incredible.
Amazing, right?
Incredible.
I'm loving it.
I love
it. When you look at the masses, how do you feel? Do you feel sorry for them? Do you feel you want to inspire them? How do you feel? Because you know what? When I look at the masses, I feel a little sad. Because they're all going to die, you know, and they're all going to have, or majority are going to have unfulfilled potential.
I don't know, man. I feel like everybody's out to look out for themselves, and a lot of people, they get married early, they have kids, they're bombarded by these responsibilities, they live a certain life. A lot of people are not good people, unfortunately. A lot of people are evil people and pathetic people even, who you will never meet their true side, or hopefully you won't meet a powerful person who's evil. And we just forget that we're human, having a human experience. But somehow the nicest people I've ever met are those who understand the value of just sitting on a rock and fucking looking out at a beautiful view and calling it a fucking day. It's just like
being in that moment, taking it all in nature.
Really being in with another person. It's like yes, I have a certain level of quality in the people I call my friends, a certain level of power and money that they have. 100%, I admit it. But your net worth is your network. I mean, or your network is your net worth in a way. And
your
why
net
not?
worth is your self-worth.
Even better. Well done. And to me, it's just, that's how it goes. Like when my friends see me, none of them ask me about my voice or my sonic or whatever. No, they come like, hey, I got a client who wants to work with you, blah, 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 blah. That's about it.
Yes.
You know? And I'm so grateful to them. Always grateful to them. And no one is like, oh my God, do you know who Ahmad is? Do you know what Ahmad does? They don't care. Like my close friends have a strict policy of no talking about work when we're out. Whether we're in a...
What do you do for social time?
Electronic, underground electronic music parties.
I'm going to send you my music. I'd love to hear your feedback.
Please send.
When you, by the way, going to an appointment?
Yeah.
Do you miss it?
It's fine.
Are you sure?
1 second.
I realized it's...
Yeah, it is definitely getting a little bit...
We'll do this again, Ahmed. Let's do it again.
Yeah?
We'll do a second part.
Okay.
A few guests I asked to come again, so we'll do this.
I would love to.
I want to know about your comedy. I want to know about what you do.
there's a lot there's a lot that we still need to cover. I'm going 2:30 to the desert. I'm the face of Head Out, the application for all the activities in UAE. So we've done like pretty much the safaris, the hattas, the whatever. So I'm their face, and I'm also, inshallah, gonna be making their music globally. And it's just one thing leads to another thing leads to another. Wow. It's just absolutely insane. But listen, and I mean this, and it was such an honor to be here, because out of every single podcast I've ever been through, I never truly felt like someone was just chatting me, you know, like, so for whoever actually took the time, took the effort to listen to this podcast, and your beautiful voice doesn't even need to go to the school.
Thank you.
I am just Ahmad, and I'm just a guy who knows his value, who did things that has inspired whatever amount of people, and has annoyed millions of people with his music and a few 100,000 people with his voice. And I did all of this out of love. There's thousands of voiceovers, none of them are me. There's thousands of composers, none of them are me. There's millions of millionaires, none of them are me. I just am me. I'm that guy. I'm the dude. I'm the guy who's here to help you to grow and do the thing you want to do. I'm the dude who's going to write the thing that's going to make you successful. I'm a gladiator. I'm a survivor. I honor you. I'm a survivor. And that's why from this to this, you see that? 2 centimeters, I would have lost this eye. Yeah, 2 centimeters, I would have lost it. This eye used to be like a Terminator. All red when the light in the middle. All the white was red after the accident because of the concussion I had. And you know what? Maybe it was that concussion that just... Who knows?
Woke you up.
Woke me up. For real. So I go back to reality as it's meant to be. And I need... What I want to learn and what you guys should learn, be patient. I'm currently teaching myself that. Be patient. Allow serendipity. Allow serendipity. It's a real thing, by the way. If you don't know what it means, Google it. Allow serendipity. Okay? Stop trying. You know, the girl, have some self-respect for you. Whether you're a guy or a woman. If you're a woman, I love you. If you're a man, I love you too. Please understand who the hell you are first. And learn from this guy. And a lot like him. And one day I'm going to be on his level of mental awareness. One day. But for 29, I had a lovely, beautiful 41-year-old woman look me straight in the eye and say, I feel like I'm having with somebody exactly my age. I'm having a conversation with somebody exactly my age who's probably going to watch this podcast. Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Gladiators, hope you enjoyed this. It's the longest podcast I've ever had. I honor you and we'll see you next time. Thank you. And thank you, Ahmed.
Thank you and have a
honor,
great day.
friend.
And always remember, you need to become a gladiator from within. Reality is what you make it. The same way I discovered this tonality all the way up, in the middle, and all the way down. Make the best of you. And it doesn't matter where my voice is. I have it.
God bless. I salute you.